Democracy at Risk from Social Media by Lisa Creason. Did social media disrupt the gatekeeping theory in the 2016 U.S. presidential election by bypassing or replacing the legacy mass media? This phenomenon is significant as the disruption has been implicated in worldwide politics and for fanning flames of racism, bigotry, and hate. Democracy is being threatened by intentional disinformation. The presidential campaign in 2016 was divisive and disruptive. Never has any other presidential battle been fought using social media to spread hate and disinformation to that extent. Fake news has always existed, but the pervasiveness of social media raised the question as to whether Donald Trump was elected because of it. Foreign foes are invested in using social media to derail United States democracy as well as democracy in other countries. Kelly, Trong, Shabazz, Earp, and White provide extensive research across 65 countries and report that fewer than one-fourth allow internet usage freedoms, meaning without government surveillance, restrictions, obstructions, or hindrance of freedom of speech. At least 18 countries, including the United States, had electoral processes hampered by social media manipulation and disinformation. Modern authoritarian regimes are expanding their power and influence through the internet and social media. Evidence is presented of increase in physical and technical attacks on human rights defenders and independent media. Creason and McGregor analyzed the role that Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, and Google played in shaping the electoral campaign's communication in the United States in 2016. Facebook, Twitter, and Google were on location in Philadelphia with recording opportunities throughout the 2016 Democratic National Convention. Google set up a tech space in a vacant industrial plant for politicians and Google staff to mingle and shoot live selfie videos in photo booths. Twitter had a live stream booth in the convention center where politicians gave Periscope interviews. Twitter also had on-location staff providing real-time analytics on the use of Twitter during the convention. Microsoft partnered with Politico and offered live events, refreshments, an oxygen bar, workspaces, and a 3D printer. Facebook rented out a glass enclosed bar just off the convention floor and ran Facebook, Facebook Live, and Instagram feeds about the candidates on a large screen continuously. This space had a broadcast studio, a Facebook Live studio, and a replica of the Oval Office as a photo booth. The importance of responsible reporting is explored in communication campaigns. Campaigns originally referred to a stage of war with a specific objective. This can also be applied to communication strategies created to generate an effect on a large segment of people within a specific time frame. According to Turkina, gatekeeping has historically been about the process of choosing what news can be responsibly produced and presented. The supposition is that having a gatekeeper protects the general public from exposure to campaigns that are fake news. Spreading fake information or propaganda is not a new practice. Fake news has always existed, but the pervasiveness of social media raised the question following the 2016 U.S. presidential election as to whether Donald Trump was elected because of it. To eradicate the spreading of misinformation, both Google and Facebook announced they will prohibit the use of their ad platforms by sites known to publish invented news. However, Neither Google nor Facebook have been able to develop a filter that can identify false information. There has been an application developed called Trust Servista by startup Zeta Cloud that can identify the primary source of the information and give the source a trust score. Welbers and Opgenhofen observed Facebook pages of 6 reputable online newspapers and then characterized news dissemination by its source, for example, the newspaper's social media editor, or a like and share, or a blogger or individual restating the original story in their own words. These authors then asked the question, who is the gatekeeper? Who decides what the relevant stories are and the accuracy of the reporting? The findings of Welber and Opgenhofen give further insight as to why fake news has more impact via social media, and that is just how much engagement is increased with each new post of the news article. This study proved that engagement increased dramatically with any news article once posted to Facebook, nearly doubling the number of people who read the article. Facebook political ads have been found to include false information. In fact, Trump released a 30-second video ad accusing Joe Biden of promising money to Ukraine to fire a prosecutor that was investigating a company that Biden's son was connected to. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and most news networks refused to take down the video. Facebook CEO Zuckerberg cited freedom of expression as a defense, and all the others agreed. Zuckerberg announced on October 17th the decision not to ban political ads for freedom of expression. Twitter then announced on October 30th a ban on political advertising. Grinberg, Joseph, Friedland, Swire, Thompson, and Laser researched the exposure to and sharing of fake news on Twitter during the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Their findings were that only 1% of individuals accounted for 80% of the fake news, and only 0.1% shared fake news. They also quoted an article that appeared in Harper's Magazine in 1925 titled, "Oh, Fake News and the Public," in which the author claimed that emerging technology of the day was making it hard to separate rumor from fact. Nearly 100 years later, and technology and fake news are center stage again. While the report by Ginsburg et al. Downplays the spreading of fake news through Twitter in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, an in-depth research and analysis of the impact Twitter had in those elections disagrees. These researchers and authors found that sentimental and emotional tweets drew in people that were otherwise disinterested in politics and then may be easily influenced or polarized. Welber and Opgenhofen suggest that social media platforms can be considered gatekeepers. While the supposition is that having a gatekeeper protects the public from fake news, if one can consider social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as a gatekeeper, then the stance that they recently took on Trump's video ad, decried by Joe Biden, invalidates any gatekeeper type protection from them. Where will the protection come from? Surely an application such as the True Servista could help identify obvious threats, but are the real threats the same as they have always been? The rich and powerful? Propaganda is not new. It existed long before social media. Perhaps the best defense is knowledge and education.